All right, you guys, let's get this party started. I know the lighting's a little bit off in my office today, so we're just going to go with it. But I am happy to welcome you here. I am Coach Tina, and you are in the 3-day masterclass from procrastination to desired destination. All right, you guys, let's get this party started. I know the lighting's nothing like a little echo. This is a class for women who are ready to take action to accomplish their dreams. I run this monthly, and I'm so excited to do this month's version. We are going to have a great time. Some of you have heard that I do this masterclass mostly because my name is all over it. And as you can see, I've highlighted that both in the word procrastination and in the word destination, you will find the name Tina. When I first found that, I was like a little bit horrified that my name was in the word procrastination. And I started to like own it as a label. And then I went, oh, wait a minute. My name is also in the word destination, and life is a choice where you can choose. Am I going to be a procrastinator, or am I going to be someone who goes after what they want in life? And I made the choice to go towards the destination that I desired. And so my hope is that this class will help you to get closer and closer to your dreams, the desire in your heart, all the things that are possible for you, because we are women who win for sure. This is a membership benefit for women that are in the Empowering Champions community. And I hope that everybody put in the comments for sure, because I see a lot of you are on here. I appreciate it. I've got Sarah's on here, and Margaret, and Kathy, as well as Candace. Good morning, Candace. Good to see you. I have Rachel Johnson. Happy to have you here as well. And there's a few others watching, Suzanne and Stacy. Thank you, guys. I really appreciate everybody popping in for the October Procrastination to Desired Destination Masterclass. This is the holiday edition. And what does that even mean? It means that I wanted to have a little bit of fun, and I know that specifically from this point in time till the end of the year can be a blur because there are so many things that go on. We have October, November, and December. And I wanted to just kind of spice it up a little bit by throwing in some references to the holidays that are coming. The reason that this is important to me is that I know that if you don't pay attention to things, all of a sudden time is gone like that. And we'll be saying, how can we believe it's already Christmas? I don't want that to happen to you guys. So what I am working towards is having the best possible holiday season, this last quarter of the year. And that's only going to start by us being aware of the time and keeping track of what's important to us. So we're going to start out with the objectives for the class. And what we're going to cover the very first day today is how we can fearlessly craft our goals. And that will allow us to let the magic happen. Tomorrow, we're going to talk about the recipe for reality with a little side of gratitude. And the third day will be the gift of kissing procrastination goodbye. And so we're going to just kind of have fun with bringing in everything. And I love, got a lot of people saying, good morning, good morning. Margaret is watching from a parking garage. That's awesome, Margaret. I know she had a big concert last night, so I hope it was amazing. And then Rachel says, good morning to everybody. So happy you guys are here. Laura, I see you've joined. So congratulations on the new grandbaby. That's so awesome. All right, we are talking about procrastination. And some of us don't use the term procrastination. So I wanted to kind of define what procrastination is so that you could see if it shows up in your life. And procrastination is when we postpone or delay the things that we know we need to do. This is not being lazy. This is not choosing not to do something. This is we're mean to get to it. We have this great intention, but we just aren't quite ever having to cross it off our list. We want to, but we aren't. And because of that, procrastination causes us to feel stressed, overwhelmed, or just everything else becomes the priority versus the thing that we know we're meant to do. So if that is something you can identify with, go ahead and drop in the chat the areas that you know you are procrastinating in your life. Now, those of you that have the workbook, if you're part of the VIP, this is also an area you can write in your workbook. But any pad of paper and something to write with will do you just fine for this part of the challenge. Remember, the first part of moving forward and changing and transforming something in your life is having an awareness about it. So if you are already seeing where you procrastinate, you will then be able to do something about it. If you're just not aware, there's really not anything people can do for you. So problem aware is a good thing. And I have Vanessa watching as well. So happy to have you on here. So I'm looking for anybody's, I noticed that I have the pencil and paper on there. Awesome. And if you're watching live or on the replay, go ahead and put that as well. Love to have people, even if you're not here live and you're coming in later, it's still wonderful for you to communicate in the chat and play along as we're going. That way we know everybody is getting the material and working with it the best we can. All right, you guys. So procrastination, is anybody, like, let's talk about the holidays. I don't know about you, but sometimes I wait till the last minute. What that looks like is I go to the store to get the Halloween candy and it's all sold out because it's like 2 or 3 days before. And who would have thought they would run out of candy, right? Now that buying the candy is not the most important thing in your life. So on the scale of things, I can understand that happening, but it's that example that shows up where you're like, oh, I did that again. It's not paying that bill on time. Or, you know, what happens to me a lot is I think I'm going to cancel that subscription to so-and-so, but I'm going to wait till the due date. So the day before the due date is when I'm going to cancel it. So I push it off. And then all of a sudden I look at my credit card bill and guess what? There is that thing that I meant to cancel, but didn't. That is a symbol of procrastinating. And guess what? There is no reason why I can't cancel those things, but something is happening. There's a conflict in my mind that causes me to have that programming that says, oh, you can wait on that. You can do that later. It's not really about not doing the thing. It's about the things around why I'm not doing the thing that I need to investigate. So I see a lot of you are putting in your things. For Sarah is saying that for her, it's paperwork and organizing her home. She has a garage full of stuff from moving, and it's been a year. I hear you. She lives where it's really cold, so the fall is definitely happening in her world. And she says if she doesn't clear out the garage, she's not going to be able to park her car in the garage. And I've seen her shoveling snow out there, the pictures of what the snow looks like where she's from. So that definitely needs to happen. And she doesn't have pictures hung on the wall. That's a perfect example, Sarah, of what happens in our life, right? One thing leads to another thing. You don't have time to clean the garage. So of course you're not going to take the time to put your pictures up. And all of those are, in a sense, self-care that we're putting off. I've seen this as well in those of us. If you identify with this, let us know, but that will take items, and maybe you have that room in your house that's your area, but when you're cleaning up your house, it all the mess gets piled up in your room because you're the last priority in your own life. And you know you're going to get to it later, but then you don't. And then things stack and it becomes I don't want to call it a crisis, but it becomes an influencer in your life. You look around and you see the piles and it brings your energy down. You know you have so much to do. Why aren't you doing those things that you want to do? And so on and so on and so on. Rachel says she has to get her orders done and send them off, and she has new craft stuff to do. Yes. Kim is on. She gets lots of free stuff from Amazon, and she's supposed to maintain a certain percentage of reviews by a certain month, and she struggles to get all that stuff done. That's awesome. Awesome, awesome, awesome. And Laura says her office is the pile room. Isn't it sad that we know this about each other, you guys? Because we are each other, right? So we're going to put a little magic on this with our goal casting. And what we're talking about here is first you decide what it is that you want to do. We are at the beginning of the month, and this is our opportunity, fresh energy from the new month, to really look at what are our goals for the next 30 days. What do we want to do? And that's really a key to procrastination that I'm going to talk about in a minute, is wanting to do it. There are things that we put on our list that we don't want to do, but we have to make it something that we get to do versus something that we have to do. And that's all in a mind shift. But once we decide on those goals, we want to take the actions to meet the goals. And I do have goals as a singular or a plural, depending on the kind of brain you have. You may have lots of goals, or you may just have one that you focus on. I recommend that you don't do more than 3 goals at a time. It's just a little bit too scattered, but you can do a goal and then replace it with another goal. So don't hold yourself back on all the things you need to do. But we also need to track our progress. It's not enough to just write everything down that you want to do and make lots of goals. You have to actually experience the actions to make the goal move forward. And that's only going to happen with that dose of reality that we're going to see tomorrow, where you're actually tracking and working on those things. And as you guys know, I love to celebrate our successes, and then we repeat the cycle. And this incantation, if you will, decide the goal, take the action, track it, and celebrate, can become just a little mantra. When you start to notice that you're doing something, you can be like, am I working on my goal? Is this an action that's leading me towards my goal? Am I making progress on that goal? Or is it just out there and I wish it would happen, right? So we just need to be aware of where we are in the cycle and then decide what we're going to do next. And celebrating your success might be as easy as turning off the TV and standing up and going, yeah, I'm going to do something different. I'm going to read a book, or I'm going to take that course that I've been working on. The littlest, tiniest things will start to make the shift, because what we're trying to do is build momentum where then the actions become simpler. We built that muscle. And so the celebration part is key, as well as the tracking, as well as the actions, as well as deciding what it is you want to work on. So Candace says she wants to video posture exercises plus do more live videos consistently. Good for you, Candace. Yes, yes. All right. If you know your goals for the month, go ahead and put them down for sure. But as you write down these goals, I want you to start thinking about the patterns. And I'm really sad I had a picture right here, you guys. Why did my picture not show up? I hope that doesn't happen all the way along. I'm going to just check forward. No, beautiful picture of a spider web. So after this, in fact, it's on my phone and I am going to add it to the comments if it'll let me. There is a spider that has taken residence outside of our front door. And it is one of those banana spiders that is like huge. Oh, it will not let me put a picture in the comments. I will promise you guys I'll put another picture up there. But the spider is a banana spider. So it's about that big. And it's beautifully colored. And she made the most intricate web. And we had some wind. We're in Oklahoma, right? And so a lot of the grass got caught in it. So like you can actually see the entire intricacy of the web. And I thought it was the perfect example for patterns, because that little spider, she has worked hard, and it is the female of the species, to make this beautiful web. And it's a great example of a pattern, and it fits my theme. So you guys, I'm kind of mourning the loss of my photo here, but what do you notice in the things that you're writing down and in your past that you don't do? The thing that always is on there, the thing that you're constantly going, oh, I needed to get that done and I didn't. Where do you notice that you have good intentions, but it doesn't happen? in a sense, you get caught in the web of life, right? And what do you do when you notice that you've procrastinated and it's something that has to be done? Do you like pull the all-nighter from like college days, or what's the equivalent of that? Do you wait till the last minute because that gives you that extra surge of push to get through? Only you know the answers to these patterns, you guys. This is you, and you're analyzing how you show up in your life. But as you look at those patterns, and how you catch up on things is really interesting, because it's how you kick yourself out of the procrastination pattern. Because you do, obviously, if you procrastinated everything, you wouldn't even be here. You have a formula for how you work through your procrastination. It might be that you just get so frustrated with it that you clear off your desk and you start over. And that is a pattern for you. And so if you start to recognize that, then maybe you can clean up the desk a little bit sooner so that the procrastination doesn't happen. Like when you see the step and you see what you do next, is it possible to skip the distress part and just go straight into the thing that you do that stops the procrastination? A really good clue is, as you're looking at the things on your to-do list that you know that you stall on, is what's the emotion or the pain that you have behind it? When you think about that thing, what are the words you say right after you realize you haven't done it, or have done that again, or whatever that is? And then think about, where have you heard those words before? What memory is attached to it? What thing are you putting it on? Because as you kind of saw the preview to the next slide, we're looking for things in our life where there are masks. If you guys know the concept of masks, masks are when we put on a happy face and do the thing that we don't really want to do. And we've done it for so long that we almost don't even know that it's a costume, an assumption that we've put on. We've put on other people's way of doing things. Maybe when we're doing something in life, we'll say we want to do something for somebody. Yeah, I'll get that done. And then later we're like, I don't really want to do it. So you put it off. You don't do it, right? And you mean to do it. It's on your list. But if you really were honest about it, you're hiding from others what you're really thinking about. And even that mask shows up sometimes when you're wishing that you could do something different, but you'd never really let anybody know what that other thing is that you'd like to do. And so the things that are showing up on your to-do list aren't true reflections of who you want to be, what you want to do. And so you're like carrying around this, what's coming to mind is a laundry basket full of stuff you need to fold, but it's not even yours. And like, who wants to do that? Right? So, let's see. The Kent curse, Sarah says. The paperwork thing is something she grew up with, and the whole family deals with it. Ooh, just the wording around that is so good, Sarah, because when you recognize it and you see that, then you can start to do something about it. I love it. Veronica's watching as well. Sarah says she has housing inspections, and she usually works furiously the day before that. So you guys are seeing those patterns in there. Margaret says she's not consistent enough. She'll get the house looking nice, but then she'll start slacking on one room, and that leads to another room, to another room. I hear you guys on this, right? What we need to do is switch to another way of thinking on this, because even we have a pattern in how we're thinking about our procrastination. And it kind of has this dark cloud that comes over us because of it. Oh, it's the way I've always been. I'm just disorganized. When you say those types of things to yourself, or I never get around to those kinds of things, you are basically a self-fulfilling prophecy. You're creating that environment around yourself. Whereas if you could empower yourself with better wording, better languaging, better thought process about it, better questions, and things like, how could I take some action that moves me forward today? when you're asking yourself those types of questions, how can I overcome the family curse, right? Those types of things will start you thinking about a more positive way to address it. And we're only going to move forward with positivity. When you are in that deep depression, laying on the couch and everything is wrong in your life, how motivated are you, right? Not at all. You just want to have it all go away, have another drink of wine, whatever it is that just makes it go away from you. But when we address it, when we step into it, when we, as the next thing says, really look at the fear behind what's happening with our procrastination, then we will start to be able to make different choices. So when you look at the items on your list that you know you need to do the most, but you don't dare do them, there's some fear behind that, you guys. So let's take the example of stuff piled up. The fear is there's so many things to do. Like, what if you don't get to do all the things that you wanted to do? Like all that potential. I know that I stockpile craft supplies because those are things that I wanted to do. Well, when I don't get to them, it's like my identity shifts. I have to say to myself, well, I'm not really a quilter. I have all the supplies, but I can't really be a quilter with the time that I'm devoting to that task. And so in my mind, I'm giving up a part of myself. There's a fear that says I'm never going to accomplish creating that quilt with those beautiful fabrics that I bought. And then my grandkids won't have that way of looking, putting the blanket over them 25 years from now and saying, Grandma made this for me, like my grandma did. So there's an association attached to the things that I'm not doing, and it keeps me stuck. And so in your workbooks, if you have one still, that this is a great place to analyze and start looking at what is the fear, what is the worst thing that can happen to you if you don't do your procrastination, the items that you're procrastinating on. And you want to look at what is the cost if you never do those items. Basically, fear is the reason why we're not doing it. But if you look at the fear and use it as a catalyst for bumping you into, now, wait a minute, I'm in control of my life. Thank you, fear, for showing me this, like putting the highlight on the thing. But now that the reason we have the emotion of fear is because we're supposed to do something about it. Fear is not meant to just be stuck in the closet, right? We're supposed to address the things that we have emotion about. And when we express it, when we do something about it, that helps our brain decide there's a different pattern that we're going to follow now. So I hope you've had fun with my little craziness. What we want to do is look at what the pattern shows you. If you see a theme, if you see awareness, if you are looking at these things through the right lens, you're going to be able to look at why the priorities have shifted for you. Okay. And maybe make new priorities. And that will be the thing that makes you really jazzed and excited. So Sarah says, setting herself up. Her counselor says the body and the mind keep score. And that is a beautiful book, you guys. If you haven't read that book, I recommend it highly. I don't remember who it's by, but it is really good. So Sarah's counselor says, stop talking stuff that your heart will remember. Start thinking and talking positively. Ooh, that's beautiful, Sarah. And I'm glad you remembered that. So it's getting into you. You are thinking about it. It's becoming part of your new pattern moving forward. And Margaret says, I'm so scared to start selling in person. Isn't that interesting? The hiding from other people, the thing that they would love, because we already know with Margaret, she is wanting to sell some of her jewelry. And so she has her goals, and she's been making her jewelry pieces, and she had her goal for September to make the rack and put all the jewelry on the rack. And without actually trying to sell, she sold 3. So people saw it and they wanted it. So it's an interesting dichotomy, Margaret, that people want what you have, but you're afraid to share with that, to put yourself out there. And so we're going to be working on that. You were the winner of this month's celebration. She was able to complete her goal and reported on her progress. So all of us will get to do this at the end of October. Look for a message that says, hey, did you meet your goals this month? And I'll tag you all on it that participate in this masterclass. And you'll be able to go in and really look at what worked for you. And then you'll be in this contest and I'll draw a name and you will get a free session with me. And so on Margaret's session, we're going to work about that exact thing, Margaret. That's really going to be a good place for us to go. But remember, procrastination can be our friend. Procrastination can give us the insight into what's happening with us, and then we can make the adjustments. Now, I don't want this all to be about the scary stuff. I want us to have a session about the magic, because we have the power within us to banish what doesn't serve us. Okay, think about the magic wand. If you had a magic wand over all the stuff we just talked about, and you could pick it up and wave it and take care of all the things on your list, what would your life look like? Okay, I want you to make a list of all the things you wish that you had the power to make come true. And don't let any constraints happen. You're magic, for goodness sake. You have special powers. Anything you want, anything that you could do. If you could be anybody, what powers would you have? What could you accomplish? And so I'm looking forward for you to share that list with us tomorrow when we go into our next day. It's going to be the recipe for reality with a side of gratitude. So we'll start out with looking at your dream list, the things that you would do if there weren't any constraints, no time, no money, nothing in your way, not the education, not what you should have done and didn't do, just anything that would make your life better. Okay. And we're going to start with that tomorrow. We're going to look at it from a realistic viewpoint, though. And then the homework is the biggest insight you had today. Please, in the comments, talk about what made total sense to you. And then if you're VIP, go ahead and work in your workbook. If you had the one from last month, I would do it again and start to compare your answers month to month to month. And then tonight, if you're VIP, you have access not only to the workbook, but you can do the survey again and put in new answers to what you're working on this month, what you're holding back on. For the VIP, tonight at 8:30 p.m. Eastern and tomorrow night is a question and answer time. We can go over the workbook more. We can talk about anything we discussed today. And then the weekend workshop where we deep dive and do hot seats for anybody in the VIP, that's happening in 2 weeks, not this coming Saturday because I'll be out of town. But it starts at 11 a.m. Eastern, and you're welcome to come in. Everybody that is a VIP gets a hot seat. Even if you can't make it to the workshop, we will schedule a time. All right. You guys are so awesome. I totally appreciate you being a part of this community and participating in this class. If you would like to register for the class so that you get notifications, you can go to coachtina.live/masterclass and enroll in it, and it will give you all the information you need. The timings for the sessions in the morning, it's interesting, okay, are there for you for day 2, which starts tomorrow. I hope you'll all be here. And if you need anything, if there were any questions that came up from this, please don't hesitate to contact me. I love you all. And I'm so excited about our being able to work together for the month of October and to set our holidays off in the best way possible. And with that said, don't forget to go out and get your candy if you have trick-or-treaters. If you live in the US, this is a big deal to us, and you don't want to run out of candy. So go ahead, and even though I don't agree with eating sugar, go get yours. Okay, take care and have a really blessed day, you guys. See you tomorrow.